Flosstube. I am Molly West, the Sensible Stitcher, and I am here for my January stitching update. Today was a red letter day in our family. My son received his first COVID vaccine, so it was very, very exciting. I am going to insert a picture of Chandler and I receiving our vaccine right here. I'm so thankful. I am so excited. But moving on to stitching, let me go ahead and get going. I worked on 14 projects this month and I had 2 finishes. So I'm just gonna dive right into my WIPS. They're either WIPS or new starts. I'll let you know as I go. The best I can do is bring them over here and get the bags unzipped, and then from there, it's just, there's no order to it. I worked on Consider the Lilies. Let's see if I can get the light right. I'm in a different spot today. Heartstring Samplery. It's so beautiful. My goal on this piece is a 2021 finish of the border. And let's see. I am making progress. My border, got this upside down, but you probably can't tell. I can, but you probably can't. The border met, which is always wonderful. And once I finished the bottom third of the border, I went back through and started putting in the stems of the flowers. So I have finished the top stems and I have moved on to the bottom stems. And this will come out every couple of months. And like I said, my only goal on this for the year is to finish the border. And the nice thing about that is that in 2021, it will be, all of the fun motifs will be ready for me. So that's very exciting. The second project that I worked on that was border only is Charlotte Mills 1844 by Fox and Rabbit. Pull this one out. And I really, really underestimated this border. There's a reason it's so breathtaking, guys. It is super detailed. So here it is. There's the name. But the border is very intense. My goal here was to finish the border by December 2021. It's ambitious. Particularly considering this was month 1. Oh gosh, ambitious. I think that I'm gonna have to make some adjustments to my expectations on Charlotte Mills. I absolutely love stitching on this one, and this piece was never a focus piece on any day, but I bet I put 12 or 14 hours into it this month, and that's how far I got. So it might have the border complete by December 2021, but I think that might be a little lofty. It's so beautiful that every single stitch is worth it. It'll take your breath. It is gorgeous. So I'm gonna keep plugging away at her. The next piece I worked on, I only put a couple hours into this, but I will be working on it the last couple of days of January some more. Forest of Sumatra by Ink Circles. Oh, my stars, I'm so sorry. Consider the Lilies was on 36 count Winter Moon, which is just as Weigart. And Charlotte Mills was on a 40 count light mocha, which is just as Weigart. Those are not over dyed. This is Ink Circles Forest of Sumatra. And it is on a 28 count Monaco 1/1. On both of those, I'm using the called for colors. Consider the Lilies is all the over dyed threads, cotton threads, and on Charlotte Mills, it's all DMC, which is nice. This is a 28 count coffee tea dye Monaco. And I am using the color Collard Greens by Classic Colorworks. I am using the colored Collards by WIPS Dye Works. Sorry, I was wrong. And that one's beautiful. It's a slow going one. There is no goal on that. I mean, that sucker will be years and years down the road. I'm still on page 1. I am right here. I have a long ways to go. A long road to hoe. Okay, I also worked on what was essentially like a new start because I barely had any stitches in it, but this Mirabilia, which is my first ever Mirabilia, and she's on 32 count Lavender Lugana, and her name I think is Princess Elena, but let me double check that. Yes. And let's see, I am starting bottom center. Oh, she's gonna look great, guys. I'm super happy. I'm super, super happy. I think the colors are absolutely beautiful on this fabric. So that was fun and exciting. I can't wait to pull her out again. And then I also worked on, oh, I had a restart. So I have the most beautiful modern folk pattern, modern folk embroidery pattern. And Jacob on his Flosstube, on his modern folk embroidery Flosstube, I don't think that he showed this pattern, which is called the Nordic Heart, but I think that he showed another one of his heart patterns, and it made me remember that I have this one. When I started this one, I really wanted for it to be color on color, so I used an oatmeal Ada and ecru as my floss, and it was beautiful. Oh, it was so pretty, and I got so far along. I had come all the way up one side and most of the way up another side, and I put it away, and when I pulled it back out to work on it again, I realized that I had stitched one entire part of the V, half of the V it was off by like one stitch, but it's so symmetrical that you can tell. And I think that I was like just so into the stitching that I didn't notice it until it was so far gone, and I was very upset, and so I put it in the garbage. So I have restarted this gorgeous pattern, and while I am still doing almost color on color, now I'm using a 32 count Stormy Night, and I'm using DMC 926, and I have about 8 stitches. It was basically a color check to make sure that I liked how the colors were going to turn out, and I do. It is a gray blue with a gray blue. My thread has the tiniest hint more of a green in it, but it does not bother me at all. I think that the colors are very pretty together. So that is my new start of a piece that I became a little bit frustrated with, and it had nothing to do, the chart is awesome. It was user error. So we're gonna try that one again. Okay, and I worked on GGR's Bridget Power 1840. And I got another page finished, so I have 2 pages finished on this piece. And on my last video, I mentioned that I thought that I might be able to project complete by December. And when I said that, for some reason, I was thinking, gosh, this is so pretty. I was thinking that this was a 12-page project, and it is in fact a 20-page project. So I think that finishing it in December is going to be a stretch. I would guess more like April or May of 2022, unless I changed how I stitch, which I don't foresee that happening. I'm stitching it on 28 count Moon Glow Lugana. It has called for DMCs, and I do what I do with a lot of pieces that I stitch using 2 threads is I use the called for DMC and I mix it with an over-dyed cotton with variegation in it that is super similar, just to give it a little bit different depth and texture. And I love this. I love this. So I'm 2 out of, it's huge. It will be a statement piece. And that's, I do that sometimes. If I want something, if I want to have a piece of large wall art, I will do it intentionally on 28 count so that it becomes kind of a statement piece rather than part of a collection. It kind of is a standalone statement piece. This one will be that way for me. And so, like I said, maybe April of 2022, I don't know. And that's if I stay on path of giving it 4 days a month. But it's so beautiful, I can't see changing that. But you never know. You just never know. I have so many plans and so many things on my wish list that you never know. I'm gonna slide that in later. Okay, another piece that I worked on is, what is this? Oh, I worked on Wisdom. I'm actually in the middle of working on this. I will continue working on this for the rest of the month. This is Long Dog Sampler Wisdom. And my goal for a finish for this one is in April. And because I'm getting so close to my finish goal, April is Autism Awareness Month, and I am, because this has so many different colors in it, I am doing this for, like as a neurodiversity piece. So I'd like to have it, actually, I will finish this in April, and then I will start Virtue, which is the companion piece to this one. And I'm getting really close, friends. I have finished the bottom 2/3, and I have the top third to finish and the border across the top. So since you've seen this last, I filled in the bottom border. I filled in this corner. I finished that little flower last night, and I filled in the bones of this bit of the border, and I worked the gray border up and started getting the areas in place for the 2 vases and the 2 cats. So I need to buckle down. That's a lot of stitching still left to do. This is it's a big piece, and so getting this finished in April. I have set aside several stitching days to get this one done, and it will be well worth it. I still love this one. Every single time I pull it out, love it. And I get to go back and finish working on it today. In fact, I'm gonna set it up here so that I can take it straight over to my chair. I started this. That one is on 28 count bright white. Probably a Lugana, if I had to guess. It's an even weave. I started this, A Visit from Spot by Kathy Barrett, and I am doing this little one. Cute, 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 cute. And I am working on 32 count natural. And I have the tree and the border, and that's it, and that's okay. I have so few smalls that it's nice to pull one out every now and then. So that was a fun diversion. And then I worked on a patriotic piece. And y'all are gonna have to show me a little grace on this one. I tried something that I have never tried before. This is Lady Liberty by Brenda Gervais. Oh, I'm gonna hold it this way. And it's beautiful. And I tried to do I do color conversions a lot, just kind of based on what I have in stash. But this was my very first time, my very first attempt at a skin color conversion. And I think she's pretty. I used wool for her hair, and that was a mention, I think that Gary from the Sunshine Stitchers is where I first heard that idea, and it's such a good idea. And then I did a skin conversion, and so that was a really fun piece to work on this month for me. And like I said, another super fun small, because I do tend towards big pieces. This month I actually worked on several smalls. Okay, I am working on the Octopus Garden, and you won't recognize it. It does not look like this. The stitches are in the same place, and that's about all I can say. All right, let's see here. There's my yellow submarine that's complete, and here is my Octopus Garden. My octopus is a purple color. I am pulling in the corals and yellows, and I am pulling in the same colorway from this. They will hang as companions in a child's bathroom. And they are so cute. I think they need a white frame. Something kind of clean and crisp looking. So that's been really fun. I held on to all of the flosses I used for Yellow Submarine, and so I'm just kind of picking through those. The only color I had to add was purple. There was no purple in the Yellow Submarine that I worked on. So that was really fun. Let's see, what's this? Oh, this was a new start. My husband gave this to me for Christmas. It's another long dog. Of course. I need more long dogs, don't I? This one is the new normal. And I'm trying something new. This is my year of adventures in cross stitch, because we know what we like, and so we kind of can get into maybe a bit of a rut with that. And so I'm trying to stretch myself a bit. So I am trying 55 count, which my mother-in-law gifted to me for Christmas. And this is Cream by Zweigart. And all I have done at this point is the little outline, and that's it. So I am just kind of right up in here. Hopefully the next time you see this, there will be something more interesting to look at. It is a beautiful pattern. And I am using Cream and DMC 930. Neither one of them have any variegation. It will simply be color on color, and I'm really excited to, particularly since it's such a tiny fabric, I think it'll be really nice to be able to have the design more distinguishable with using a plain background and a plain floss. And I am doing 1/1 in full crosses. Oh, not 1/1, it's on 55 count. I am doing one strand of floss over 2 threads of fabric on 55 count. Okay, my last piece that's going back into the whip pile, and then I still have 2 finishes, is Alita Pow Pen. Oh, I just realized I didn't bring one of my whips. I'll show it next time. And I am stitching this one on 36 count light mocha, just as Zweigart linen, and it's Reflet de Soie. I did it. I finally said it correctly. And I am changing everything about this. I have changed the fabric color pretty drastically, and I have changed the not the internal, but the stitch colors also. And this is my start. None of this is iron. I stitch in hand, so I just roll things when I'm finished and put them away. This is my start, and so far I am really pleased with the colors. I am staying true to the intent. So yellows are yellows, and pinks are pinkish. But I am using variegated flosses. And I'm thrilled. I absolutely love it. I'm really, really happy with how this one is turning out. And I do think that this one will be a 2020 finish, 2021 finish. So I'm very, very excited about that. That's kind of coming along really well. And then I have 2 finished objects. The first one that I finished was Forget Me Not. It's a blackbird design. Small sampler. It's pretty. And I personalized this to have my, and this has not been ironed. The iron is in a different part of the house that I do not have access to, so nothing gets ironed anymore. It's kind of nice. I personalized this to have my grandmother's initials deepened, and with her date of birth down here. And I will be putting this in a table frame, a tabletop picture frame, and setting it next to my sewing machine. She was quite the seamstress, so I'm very excited about that. I know exactly where it will be going when I am done with that. And then my second finish is, this one was for my daughter's 14th birthday, and I finished Thumbelina. If you are new to my channel, I have a daughter that is 14, and she is autistic, and she loves fairy tales, absolutely loves fairy tales. And so I let her look at a chart, and this is the one that she selected. And it is beautiful, and it's on a bright white 32 count. And I've stitched 3 pieces out of this book, and it is so beautiful. And I wanted to just kind of show a couple of examples of pieces that I feel like the fact that they're stitched on bright white, I don't think that they would be as impactful of a cross stitch or as a piece of art had they been stitched on anything other than bright white. And I think that a lot of it has to do with her color selections. So here's an example. I've never stitched this, but it's so beautiful. There's a lot of back stitch. And you can tell that it's French. It has that feel to it. But I own 4 of her books. I'm a big fan. Here's another piece that I feel like it stitched on, actually this is a grouping, and I feel like stitched on anything else, something would be lost in the translation. They are just so pretty and delicate, and there is something very sort of fresh and crisp and sophisticated about the way that, I want to say her name is Veronique. There's something really sophisticated in the way that her designs translate onto just plain white fabric. And I've never toyed with it. I mean, if it is in here on white, I stitch it in white. And her use of color is so incredible. Now, all these books are in French, but I just, those feathers, I just can't fathom that they would ever look as beautiful. Look at all these designs across here. I'm sorry, I think I forgot to show the cover of this book. And then she has a Christmas book that is so beautiful too. So the reason that I'm showing these is simply to mention that, I mean, if you buy a piece of bright white fabric, don't always feel like it has to be coffee and tea dyed. Don't always feel like an over dyed fabric is better. I mean, if it fits your aesthetic, that sort of crisp, clean look, and you want those colors to be just as true can be, stitch it on bright white. I mean, it's your piece, it's your art. I just think they are so beautiful, and I cannot fathom jockeying with, do people say that other than in Texas, jockeying? I can't imagine messing with the color of the fabric or the color of the flosses. I think the thing that she does that's so special is her color. And I think that a lot of the reason that it reads so special is because she stitches it on bright white. So that's it. That's my little sentiment for today, is the fact that yes, over-dyed fabrics are wildly popular, and yes, they are absolutely gorgeous. When I have a big piece like my Bridget Powers that I'm stitching and it's going to be gigantic, yeah, I went ahead and splurged and got that gorgeous piece of mottled over-dyed fabric, and I think that it's beautiful and I will love it. And I'm stitching 2 other pieces currently on really beautiful mottled over-dyed fabric. But I guess my only point is that you can buy the just base Zweigart and it is also absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's just super, super pretty. And you can buy bright white and your colors will read true. If you ever sit there and do a bunch of floss tosses and things are not coming together the way that you want to, don't forget to floss toss onto bright white. I mean, that's, it's a very, you know, crisp look, and it might not be for everybody, but, you know, if your decor is a little bit more contemporary, go for it. Give it a try. Why not? I did have somebody ask about how I keep my calendar and what my rotation is. So I'll just show you my calendar very quickly. There's nothing very fancy about it. I have just a regular plain Jane calendar. This one is made by Southworth. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Okay, and then I start each month like this, where I put along the side the pieces that I would like to work on that month. And then I put in the days that I would like to work on specific pieces. And they're subject to change. I mean, I will mark things out and write in a new one day of. I mean, it's all subject to change. And so I will give all my pieces, it typically depends on the size of the piece. So if it's a large piece, I give it maybe 3 days. For a small piece, I give it a day in my rotation, and that's it. And if it's a piece that I know that I struggle to work on for whatever reason, maybe I find the type of thread I'm using a little bit frustrating, maybe it bothers my eyes, then sometimes I will put it down for just like 1 day. The other thing that I sometimes will do is list something over to the side that doesn't even have a day associated with it. So I might put something over here, for example, consider the lilies, and there's no day associated with consider the lilies. I just know that you know, every couple days I need to pick it up and put a few stitches in it so that I can meet my my goal. And typically what I do is I keep a bin like this one next to my stitching chair, a big bin, and I will toss in, I always have my border pieces in this bin. I always have some sort of a small in this bin. If I have a whip go that's been called, it goes into the bin, and then whatever I'm supposed to be working on that day goes into the bin. I also have a couple of pieces that I like to put several hundred stitches in each week, and so I might just I just keep them in the bin, like Franzi by Reflet de Soie. I try to put some stitches in that every single week, and so it just stays in my bin, and that way if ever like I get a little bit burnt out on whatever my daily stitches, I just grab that and put a few stitches in it. And then what I do is, where did I put it? On not the monthly portion, but then on the daily. And my handwriting is that of a second grade boy, so you're just gonna have to excuse it. On the daily, I put down exactly what it was that I actually worked on. And if it was some sort of a challenge, like for whip go, I circle it. And then I keep my whip go up front. And that whip go is a game that Jessie Marie does stuff put together, and I don't participate in it formally, but I do keep things on my whip go board, and typically they are similar to the ones, if I have a hard time stitching on something, but I still love the piece, but there's something about it that I don't find myself picking it up very often, I put that kind of stuff on my whip go. So that's it. That's how my calendar works. It's not fancy. I don't have any stickers. I don't have a beautiful sampler on my cover. I have Office Depot, but it works, and I've got, you know, paper clips, whatever. It works. It sees me through, and I seem to continue getting finishes and lots of new starts. So I don't know, it's working for me. Anyways, I hope you all have found, oh, I have some winners from my last video. I cannot believe I almost forgot. So I drew the winners, and for the English paper piecing book, the winner is, oh goodness, I hope I pronounced this correctly, Cerulean Blue. I hope I will make a comment on your comment. For the green Ada that I showed, it's Catherine Birkenbein. And for the Sewing Club book by Blackbird Designs, it's Magnolia Nana. And so I will comment on y'all's comments, and I hope that everybody has a great week. We are having the best week now that Chandler has received his vaccine. We are over the moon excited in our family, and I hope that you all are staying well and staying healthy. And if you have a severe pre-existing condition, or if you are over the age threshold, I hope that your area is able to get you through and get your vaccine going if you're deciding to go that route relatively quickly. Happy stitching, guys. Bye.